Oh, yeah, there we go. But yeah, there's my model. For lack of a better term, my model sheet. Everybody, as you can see, my model was designed, drawn, and rigged by Alex, aka Berry Leche, and she did an absolutely amazing job with this model. Like she far exceeded my expectations. Like I was already thinking it was gonna be really, really cool. But she went above and beyond, and I cannot thank her enough for that. But yeah, there we are, everybody. So everybody's ready to see the debut slides? Let's go, everybody. Okay, everybody. So for those just coming in, and for those who may be lurking and may not know who I am, my name is Karai, or Karai Draconis, and I am the Emperor of the Void and Prison Warden of the Multiverse. And I'm a Void Dragon, formerly a Sky Dragon. You see, okay, this role is kind of outdated. It says Emperor of the Void, Caretaker of the Afterlife of the Multiverse, but I should also... Oh, actually, wait, no, it's not outdated. So, Emperor of the Void, Caretaker of the Afterlife of the Multiverse, Guide to the Fallen of the Multiverse, and Warden of the most dangerous aberrations and amalgamations of existence. In other words, I imprison some of the most dangerous creatures in the multiverse in the Void. Let's see. Oh, I really should have organized these better. Bear with me, everybody. So, here's a little bit about me. So, my birthday is September 23rd. Let's see, my age is unknown. Mostly for TOS reasons, but also my time in the Void has made my age impossible to determine. Even I don't remember my age. So, my height, in human form, I am 5'11", or 180 centimeters. And my height in my true dragon form is 1,197 feet, or 365 meters. And for languages, I speak English, German, Draconic, and Abyssal. Like, I had to learn Abyssal because that's the language that the Voidwalkers speak. Okay, so here's some of my likes and my dislikes. Let's see. I mean, let's see. Anyone who's known me for more than a day that knows I'm a metalhead, but death metal and black metal are my absolute favorites. I love anime. I love let's see. I do love cosplay, and if anybody's wondering what my favorites are, don't worry, we'll get to that. I love gacha games, Souls-likes, JRPGs, and I love VR, but specifically, I love VR chat and chill out VR. I love singing and karaoke. Let's see, I love VTubers. Like, I started off just as a fan of VTubers, then I became friends with a bunch of VTubers, and well, now I have been one for 2 years. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And oh yeah, fun fact about me, prior to August 2022, I was a fleshy. I was a flesh tuber. Let's see, I love going to anime conventions. You know, I love seeing all the different cosplayers, interacting with different cosplayers, supporting local artists in the artist alley. I also love raves at conventions. I had to be specific because raves in general and then raves that take place at anime conventions just hit differently for some reason. Let's see, I love cats. I'm a huge, let's see, cats is like a huge weakness of mine. Nova, welcome on in. Thank you so much for the congrats with debut. Hey, can we get a shout out for Polaris Nova, please? Also, I need to do this real quick. But everybody, my sound alerts are off for the time being. because I didn't want alerts to be going off while we're going over the debut slides. Wait, thank you for shouting out Nova. Let's see. And then I love elves. I mean my high general is an elf. You look amazing. Thank you so much, Nova. And then I'm a sucker for sushi. I mean, there's so much more I could have added to this list, but I don't want to make the page too cluttered. And oh yeah, in case anybody is wondering why the alerts are off, it's because I plan on cutting this down and posting this to YouTube later as like a debut highlights thing. Thank you so much. This is all thanks to Alex, my model mama / model father. And then my dislikes, and oh boy, I think one of them might be controversial. Let's see. So post-hardcore music, except for a few bands, like, you know, I tried to get into it, but only like, I don't know, 2 or 3 bands from that genre as a whole stuck out to me. Let's see, I was just gone with the Kakashi answers. Wait, the Kakashi answers? Let's see, just had a sausage and mushroom pizza. I agree with mushrooms. Yeah, and as you can see, mushrooms and oysters are on here. It's a texture problem, really. Like, unless it's like curated into the food I'm eating and I don't know it's there, then I can eat them. Otherwise, it's a texture issue for me. And the minute I try to eat a mushroom or an oyster, it just makes me want to puke. So I decided to add the second one because I see a lot of it these days, but drama. Don't like hearing about it. I don't like talking about it. For my just chatting sessions, that is one of those things that I cannot talk about and will not talk about because it's draining to talk about drama. So yeah, I decided a long time ago that I'm not gonna talk about drama of any sort on my streams. Like, if you want to hear my opinion on certain things, then I'll be happy to explain off stream. But yeah, I don't want to talk about drama on stream. And oh, Ryu, welcome on in. And don't worry, I'll do your Dame Dane after we do the debut slides. Can we get a shout out for Ryu Date, please? Because Ryu Date is actually a local friend of mine, and I see them at conventions, and they like to play a lot of fighting games and RPGs. All right, but anyway, I digress. So elitism or purism of any kind, I feel like that could kind of tie into the whole drama thing. But basically, if gatekeeping is involved, then yeah, I don't want anything to do with it. So interruptions, yeah. Anybody who's known me for more than a day knows getting interrupted is like one of my pet peeves. Like occasional ones, I know it happens, but if it's consistent or it's almost deliberate, then yeah, it really gets under my skin. Let's see. Phone calls, don't like them. I absolutely don't like them. Like, I feel like it's like, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm one of those people who's like, phone calls are for emergencies. I do that many times and I feel bad for it. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine, Nova. Like, trust me, I could tell if it's unintentional. I don't see Beans or Amber as on dislikes. Vexus, I never disliked Amber. I just disliked how underpowered she was. I like Amber as a character. I just don't like how underpowered her kid is. Let's see. Wasps and Hornets, yeah. Like that. I'm pretty brave in the face of many things, but Wasps and Hornets are the only thing that I'm uneasy around, and I'm actually borderline terrified of. And then this last one that I know is probably going to be controversial, but there's a big reason for it. Final Fantasy XIV. Like, long story, like, I'm not gonna tell the whole story because that's a topic for another video. Um, long story short, I was just getting fed up with how often, like, let's see, defend yourself. Like, long stories, like, there's a joke that I like to make, and that is, how do you know if somebody likes Final Fantasy 14? Oh, don't worry. Mention any online RPG that you happen to be a fan of, and they'll go out of their way to tell you how much better Final Fantasy 14 is than that game that you enjoy. But yeah, but yeah, I thought the Final Fantasy was 13 fantasies ago. OMG, true. Yeah, and again, I'm not gonna go into full detail about it, but yeah, that whole thing, I just got tired of hearing it all the time. Yeah, sorry everybody. My sound alerts and trigger fires are disabled right now because I don't want it to interrupt the debut slides. And Nova, if you want to hear my full story, I'll DM it to you if you'd like. Surprised mosquitoes aren't up there, because who doesn't hate them? That's a given. I figured that was a given, so I didn't need to put it in there. So my next slide is about my mascot, or my OC, Gwydia Evanmere. And I know, Vexus, you said Gwydia 2.0. I'm not gonna make a 2.0 for Gwydia, because this was drawn by a high school friend of mine, and you know, this commission was very special to me. So this form of Gwydia is gonna stay. So Gwydia is a void elf, formerly a high elf, and she is my high general, and she's also the provider of music in my realm. So her story is kind of brief. She's a high elf who will find herself in a random realm of the multiverse, i.e. this one, and she discovered her love for heavy metal. And then one day she found herself in the void, and then she became my general when I saw her potential. And now my next few slides are dedicated to my favorites in every cat. Excuse me, everybody. I need to drink something. Y'all ever have that tickle in your throat that randomly hits you and sends you into a... You guys ever get that tickle in your throat that sends you into a coughing spasm? Yeah, that's what happened just then. Or not spasm, but a coughing fit. You know what I mean? So as we all mentioned, I am a metalhead. I have been since 2010. And so here's some of my favorite bands: Amon Amarth, who you can see right here, Cannibal Corpse, Karakangren, Dimmu Borgir, Behemoth, Equilibrium, Elevite. I'll include some links to these bands in my Discord server later if you also want to check them out for yourself. I know it's not everybody's thing though. Dark Tranquility, Dark Funeral, Meadow's End, Ailstorm. Yes, I love Ailstorm. I saw them live in 2016, and it was a great concert. And Winter Sun. And this next slide I decided to put in there because metal is not the only music that I enjoy. So here's some other music artists I love. Garnadelia, really good J-pop artist. Let's see, Amelie, that's pretty self-explanatory. She has her own music, and she also does covers of various anime openings and game songs. Let's see, Roselia, who you can see at the bottom right there. Flogging Molly, absolutely love their music. Muse from Love Live. I recommend Powerwolf and Gloryhammer. I've heard of both of them, and I love both of them. Let's see, I always mispronounce this name, but Raising a Soylent. I love their rock electronic fusion that they got going on. Let's see. Not sure if anybody's heard of the VTuber Waifu Baby, but I normally don't like I normally don't like music with rapping in it, but she's like one of the exceptions. Same thing for Calliope Mori, who is also on this list. Let's see, KDA. I was hooked on them as when they first released Pop Stars, and I absolutely love everything that they've been putting out. And then I'm gonna have to include a link for this last one, but Ronit. And I don't know how to describe them really, other than they are atmospheric electronic music, and it's very calming. I highly recommend it. And then, of course, a burning question for some people is my favorite animes and my favorite mangas. So my favorite animes are High School DxD, Monster Musume, Guilty Crown. I know the anime of Guilty Crown kind of slowed up a bit towards the final episodes, but I love all of it nonetheless. Let's see, Bang Dream, Love Live. I love musical animes. Let's see, Claymore is which is actually the first anime that I ever binged. I watched all 22 episodes in a day. Let's see, Is This a Zombie? Which is an absolutely hilarious anime I highly recommend. Zombieland Saga. Hyperdimension Neptunia, which I will go more over later. And Chaika the Coffin Princess, which is not a well-known anime, but it is very good, and I highly recommend it. Like, if you like fantasy, and specifically if you like fantasy with some science fiction fusion into it, then I highly recommend Chaika. And then my favorite mangas. Akame ga Kill. I like the manga better. I will die on that hill. Rosario the Vampire, Twin Star Exorcist, and Another. Which I like to say Another is like the anime version of The Sixth Sense, basically. And then, of course, my favorite games. Now, the list could go on, but I decided to just list the ones that stick out. Let's see. Obviously, Genshin Impact, Punk Impact 3rd, Punkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero. As you can see, I love the Hoyoverse games. Wuthering Waves, VR Chat, which I plan on doing more streams of once I get a better headset. World of Warcraft. Well, I liked World of Warcraft as a whole, but admittingly, it had some pretty bad expansions later on. Overwatch, Valheim, Skyrim, and Goddess of Victory Nikke. And as you can see, I included Hyperdimension Neptunia in both of my favorite animes and my favorite games, because it had a 12 episode OVA, which was really good. And how to best describe Hyperdimension Neptunia? It's basically the video game console wars if the video game consoles were cute anime girls. So now a little bit about my lore, which if you were here for my debut 2 years ago, you'll notice is a bit redone from my previous iteration of my lore. So I was a Sky Dragon, but long ago I left home to discover more and find purpose in the multiverse. My journey led me to a rift, which turned out to be an entrance to the void. My ancient dragon blood allowed me to resist the corrosive and ravenous nature of the void. Hi, Affy. Sorry, I didn't say hi to you earlier. Can I get a shout out for the real Affy, please? So, the realm soldiers took notice of my resistance to the void and brought me to their leader, who is fading away, succumbing to the void's hunger. And he told me that my resistance to the void's influence granted me potential. He offered me powers of the void and the mantle of emperor. Let's see, what people don't notice was the transformation was agonizing. It felt like hours or maybe days, but but the people witnessing my transformation told me it was only 5 minutes. But once the transformation was done, I emerged a Void Dragon, and I took on the responsibilities as the Emperor. And then here's some of my goals, both for VTubing and my streaming in general, and also for content creation outside of my Twitch channel. So I want to get good with digital art. I want to do more VTuber collabs on and off stream. I want to become fluent in German, which I know is going to take a lot of practice. But I also want to learn Swedish and Japanese, which I know is going to be tricky, but, you know, I like to say that hardly anything that's worth it was ever easy. And then, I mentioned this before, but I want to do metal vocal streams twice a month. And then I want to do more VR chat hangouts on and off stream. And then there are 3 big conventions worldwide that I want to go to eventually. TwitchCon, Anime Expo, and Dokumi, because I've heard a lot of good things about Dokumi, but unfortunately, traveling to Dusseldorf is outside of my budget right now. I want to work through my game and anime backlog. I'm going to do more just chatting streams, whether they be reacting to videos or talking about various subjects. And I want to make more content than just streams by VTuber. So YouTube videos, YouTube shorts, and things like that. And then I want to make more content with my cosplay socials, which is Azure Night Cosplay. And then I want to make content for my IRL YouTube side project, which the channel hasn't been made yet, but once it's made, I will let you all know. And we're gonna go under the name Dork Souls, which I think is kind of fitting because it's just me and the fellas doing the things that we want to do, like for content, but really wouldn't fit in with my VTuber stuff.